Hi everyone, welcome to today's video where we are starting a new series called 3 Excel functions you need. So in this series we are going to discuss Excel functions and formulas that everybody needs, and we are going to give you an in-depth explanation of each function so that you know exactly how to use the formulas in your next Excel sheet. So our first function that we are going to discuss is the array to text. So let's for instance say we've got this array. It's quite simple, but you'll understand how this works. And we want to get this array to a text option. So to do this, we are just going to type in our formula bar the formula or array to text, as you can see there, and then you will select your array. So this can be much larger, it can be whatever it wants to be, and once you've done that you can just close your brackets and you'll see the array that is set into text. So this can be, let's just call this our regular method that we can use there. The next one would be to do a concise text option. This will look pretty much the same. We're typing array to text, and then we'll select our array. And in our format, if you can see, we put in a comma, and in our format, we'll select concise. So we'll do the concise option, and this will display our array exactly the same as it was without our concise method. But this does have an impact later on. I'll show you how that works. The next one is the strict option. So I'm just typing this out. This is actually just the method that we'd use. So to do the strict option, it's again the same formula, and we select our array, and we will be using our strict option there. And once we close that, you'll see how it represents our array. So we've got these curly brackets and everything is displayed as you can see here. So there is a little bit of difference between these two concise and strict formulas that we use here. When you're using the strict formula, it will insert your text in double quotes except for booleans, numbers, or errors. So let's for instance say let's add to our array, let's add a 10, let's leave a blank there so that you can see how this works, and we'll type in a 5 over here. So the next one we'll do our whole array, but we'll do it still on the concise method that we used. So again, we're going to type in array to text. We're going to select our whole array from here, and we are going to use concise. And then you'll see our array being displayed like this, and you can see the blank section in our array is also included in this text option. So when you're using the strict option and you use this formula, let's just select everything again. This is just to show you guys how each of these would work. So we'll use the strict on this one to change the format, and now you'll see all our text is in double quotes, and then our numbers, as you can see at the end here, and our blank is not included in double quotes. So this is the array to text, and it's a very helpful formula that you can use whenever you'd like. Our next function that we are going to discuss is the VSTACK function. So this is a quite helpful function that everybody needs to have up their sleeve. So it's quite simple. Let's just say you've got these two tables here, or matrices, whatever you want to call it. This can be different types of data. I've just typed it out like this just to show you the different stacking methods that you can do with this. But this will give you a good idea what this function is capable of doing. So let's just say you've got these two sets of data and it's on separate sheets, wherever it may be, and you want to stack this data on top of each other. So we can, for instance, stack two arrays like you can see here. We can just let's do equal sign and we say VSTACK, and I'll select my first array, this selection over here, and I'll select my second array, and from here you can stack these arrays on top of each other, as you can see here. So we've stacked everything together, and this is one of the options that you can use. We can also stack, for instance, rows on top of each other. Let's just do that again. So I'm typing in the equal sign and we're using VSTACK, the formula. And from here you can select that as my first array. I'll select this as my second, my third array, 4, 5, and 6. So as you guys can see, we have selected different sections of our data and we want to stack these quite mixed, as you will see now. So once we've done that, we can stack these rows on top of each other. So now we've got our first array that we selected, our second, and as you can see, this is staggered, and this you can do with your data depending on what do you want to get from this formula and function. But it's a great way to use this, and we can even use it to stack columns on top of each other. Works the same. So you'll type in your formula equal sign VSTACK, and we can select our array. So in this, I'll just select on a column basis, not on a row basis, but it works the same. You can do this however you would like, and from there you'll see it stacks our columns on top of each other. So this is a great formula that everybody should know in case you're working with huge data sets and you want to swap around and change your data. With this function, you can do that easily to speed up your Excel workflow. So our next function that we are going to discuss is the WRAPCOLS function that you can use. So this is a great function when you want to extract something specific from a table or from a data set. So as you can see, I just set up this plain and simple example for you here. And let's say, for example, I want to extract the names of our co-workers in the company. And I want to get that into a column, a separate column, to use for whatever specific idea you want to use it for. But just to explain that, I want to extract this, and the way to do this is to use the WRAPCOLS function. So what you're going to type in is, you're going to type in an equal sign and you're going to type in WRAPCOLS, like you can see on the screen here. And once you've done that, it will ask for your vector. So the vector is basically your selection. So I'm going to select the names that I want to extract from this small little table of mine, and I want to wrap that into a new column. So let's, for instance, just show you how this works. So to get everything basically transposed, so there's 9 columns there. So just enter your amounts and you can see now we've got our names separated from this, and we can use this wherever we want to. But to explain this example and how this function works, you can actually, let's type in, for instance, 3, and once we do that, you'll see how this whole section here wraps around. So it will basically work in threes and set up this type of matrix form. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. If you play around with your wrap counts, if we want to do 1, you'll see everything is basically exactly the way it was. But I mean, then you can just copy and paste that. So you can use this formula, you can play around with this in your Excel sheets to see the best way that you can use this wrap column function. And let's say, for instance, we want to get the job titles that is applicable in the company. So again, I'm going to use this function, and then I'm going to select my job titles here, and my wrap count, well, that stays the same. So then you'll see a bunch of these duplicates in this section, and basically what we want to do there, we want to incorporate the unique function with this wrap columns function. So we've done the unique function in another video. I'll just put the link of that video in the description below, or I will add a tag there in the corner for you to click on that link if you want to watch that video on the unique function. But basically, we are going to incorporate the unique function with our wrap columns function, and how that works is you'll type in unique, and with a bracket you'll then type in your wrap columns, and at the end we will close this off. So how this works, the unique function works in a way that it will only isolate unique names. It will not display duplicates of a name. So as you can see, once we've extracted our job title and we've used the unique function, then we have got rid of all our duplicates, and you can see this clear picture of all the titles in your company. So this is a couple of examples that you can use this function for. There are a lot of ways you can use this. You can play around in Excel and try these functions and see how they work for you. But thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's videos. I hope you enjoyed each of these functions, and if something was helpful, please remember to like the video down below and subscribe to our channel, because we've got a lot more content coming your way. But until next time, cheers.